Hello and welcome back to Observation Conversations. My name is Jonathan and I'm joined as always by my very good friend Reid. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing well, and today we have a very special episode in store because not only is this our July 4th special, our annual July 4th special, but as you can see, today is our very first guest episode of Season 4. He is a very good friend of mine, going all the way back to high school, and today he is making his debut on Observation Conversations, his very first appearance. May I introduce Jim? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Long time listener,
Yes.
First time guest, calling in from California.
Yes, coming to us all the way from sunny Orange County, California.
Yes. Yeah, my name's James Bullitt, and I feel excellent about being your friend.
Well, I'm so glad you said that, because ever since we launched this show 3 years ago, I have been promising you that we will get you on the show at some point, and it hasn't, for whatever reason, it hasn't happened until now. So I'm very glad that we can finally get you on the show.
Should we give a bit of behind the scenes?
Please.
There was at one point a prototype spin-off show.
Oh,
that
yes.
that was temporarily auditioned.
Yes.
In which
yeah.
I co-hosted as far as I'm aware, an unaired spin-off episode of your podcast.
Yes.
If you recall.
Back in 2022, I think it was, we thought about doing basically like a football commentary, basically a spin-off podcast with the two of us. And yeah,
why
whatever.
don't I know about this? What?
Well, I'm sure I must have mentioned it to you at the time. I'm sure I must have mentioned it to you at the time.
It was a test recording. It was a test recording to see if it worked.
Yeah, we had that idea.
A replacement audition, right?
I'm sure that if that spin-off had taken off from the ground, you would have very quickly replaced me as the co-host anyway.
Well, I it's so funny you say that, because I'm remembering it now. The idea was, because you and I, we've done this thing for a while now, where as the NFL season is going on, we'll do a call once a week and we'll make our picks for who we think is going to come out on top in each of the games that week. And it's a great little
scores.
Exactly. It's a great little tradition that we have. We've been doing it since, I don't even know, 2019, 2020. We've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Before COVID, yeah.
Yeah, before COVID even. And so I really love that tradition. And so it seemed like a natural extension to kind of just record those conversations that we're already having and have there be a record of that. So I think it was a good idea. I'll tell you what, I mean, for whatever reason, it didn't happen in 2022, but it can still happen in 2024. So, hey, if this is your attempt to bring it back in, I think we can do that.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should get Reid in it too.
There you go.
Look at a three-way competition.
Yeah, get the guy who knows nothing about football in on the football conversation.
Well, yeah,
I'll add what I can, but I think I'll be more of an audience at that point. I'll be the live studio audience.
We are all in the same fantasy league.
That's true.
So.
I could.
Yeah.
But yes.
Master of ceremonies.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but Jim and I mean, especially when we're having those NFL conversations, we're always. It's no secret, we're desperate to try to impress one another with how clever we are with our insights. And so to have a layman there, that could be someone that we could very easily impress with our insights. That's the most effective way to feel clever.
Exactly.
is by including a layman in those discussions.
I feel like that'll very quickly turn into you guys like lying and seeing what you can get away with.
I was just about to say, it would be so much more liberating to have someone here who doesn't know that I'm just completely bullshitting everything I say.
Exactly. So I tell you what, that sounds like a great idea. Let's try to do that. Let's try to do that this NFL season. Why don't we?
Sure.
But yes.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Eagles are going to go all the way finally. And they're going to win it this time.
Well, we'll see about that. That's a whole other conversation. But yes, 3 years coming. So glad to finally have you on the show. And so since this is our July 4th special, I wanted to ask you this question because last year when we did our July 4th thing, Reid and I talked a bit about our favorite July 4th traditions. What do we love most about the holiday? And so I'm curious, now that we have you here, what are some of your favorite July 4th traditions? What do you most enjoy about the holiday?
Well, I mean, I love fireworks personally. Anytime there's a fire, like I like just being out on 4th of July and you hear all of the fireworks just all going on in the distance all throughout the late afternoon into the evening. And I like to pretend that I'm like in a suburb of Paris in World War I, and you can sort of you hear the front in Belgium, even though it's 40 miles away. You can hear the front approaching.
Every once in a while, you hear a couple of planes flying overhead.
Yeah, and I'm kind of living in that very subtle fear where it's like it's not here yet, but it's coming. I like putting myself in that mind space. But my favorite July 4th tradition, quite frankly, is I always find it so complicated making plans on July 4th. Because my family doesn't really do a lot of stuff for July 4th, so it's more so like I would have to make plans with my friends. So my favorite tradition is making sure that I have a shift on 4th of July so I don't have to take on the burden of finding something to do on 4th of July.
Absolutely.
I like working because I get that holiday pay and I don't have to figure out what my plans are because you have to have plans.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
absolutely. And it's very interesting too because you and I think can relate that the firework experience, because I also said that for myself, that's my favorite July 4th tradition. I mean, of course, obviously is the fireworks. I'm a big fireworks fan, which is why the two of my favorite holidays are New Year's and the 4th of July.
Well, that's why I like 4th of July better is the fireworks are going on the whole day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly,
and also in the
depending
days
where
prior
you
as
live,
well.
they're going on the whole week. Because
Well,
if you
exactly.
live somewhere where it rains frequently, I mean, there's stuff going off on the 3rd and the 5th.
I mean, my windows were just rattling a couple seconds ago because of whatever they're doing out there.
And that's what I wanted to raise as well, is that it's a little bit different of an experience experiencing fireworks and people setting off fireworks in the South where I am and in the West where you are, as opposed to the Northeast where Reid is. In the Northeast, you have a few select locations where they're going to have a big fireworks show. Like on the Hudson is the biggest one that we would go to growing up, was the fireworks they would do over the Hudson in front of Manhattan. But when you live in the West and when you live in the South, there really isn't. Number one, the fireworks laws are a lot more
lax.
More lax, and so more people can just set off fireworks from their own backyards, and they're happening everywhere. Like you can attest in Southern California, there's nowhere you can look in any direction where there's not fireworks happening.
The suburban areas of Orange County are all full of families who drive to Arizona, Nevada, or Mexico.
Yes.
Buy the most insane fireworks that aren't legal in California, bring them back, and just set them off for the entire week.
Absolutely.
Just nonstop. It's a tradition to drive to the closest place you can that's across state lines, load up on the most military grade stuff possible, and then come back.
Absolutely.
It's a last week of June tradition.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'll say as you know, as an East Coaster, like I grew up only watching the big shows. And it was only in the past few years where like, my family started buying our own fireworks. And for a while we had to buy them outside of New Jersey and just traffic them in. But we'll just get like these really small cans that just do like this kind of plume of color and smoke.
The fountain type.
Yeah, and like even those are so much more exciting and entertaining than these giant shows in the sky, because the fire is right there in front of you, and I think that like extra sense of danger is what makes it much more exciting.
There's something about I mean the professional fireworks shows, they're great. They're spectacular to look at, but there's just something a bit more dangerously fun about someone's drunk uncle lighting off a mortar that's way too big for him to be legally lighting off.
Yeah.
And he's got a buzz going, so he kind of like stumbles away from it, and you're a little worried about it.
Yeah, you're hoping Uncle Jeff gets away.
Get out of there! Get out of there!
10, 9, 8, 7.
And it goes off. It starts going off a couple seconds early, and you're like, oh shit, come on.
Right. Yeah, and it's so funny. You talk about this tradition of having to drive into Arizona or Nevada to get the really big fireworks. And, here in Florida, you don't even have to do that. Literally, I was at Publix yesterday, and they had fireworks. Literally, when you walk in the store, you turn right. The first display that I saw there was fireworks and firecrackers. I couldn't believe it at a supermarket. So, I'm pretty sure in Florida, you don't even have to cross state lines to get what you're looking for. And yeah, I mean, it's very similar to Southern California where, everybody's setting off fireworks. I mean, yeah, you've still got the big fireworks shows in and around the big cities, but everybody's just setting fireworks off in their backyards, in the parks, everywhere. So everywhere you look, there's fireworks going on, and not just on the day, on July 3rd, on July 2nd, even as early as, late June. So.
What's something I have always wanted to do on July 4th is, and I am so jealous because my boyfriend is doing that this July 4th, is to get a flight that leaves just after sunset on July 4th, so that when you're flying over, you see all the fireworks going on in the city. He's doing that tomorrow, and I am so jealous of him because I have always wanted to do that.
Wow, it's like the July 4th version of the eclipse flight.
Exactly.
That they had. Wow.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Once I get a pilot's license, that's going to be my July 4th tradition, is taking up the Cessna that night.
Which, hey, that's a fun fact. Did you know that Jim has flown a plane before?
I did not know that, and I'm very jealous. That sounds so cool.
I can go even further with that fun fact. I flew a plane before I ever drove a car.
Whoa.
Wow. Because, I mean, that was all the way back in, like, high school, wasn't it, when that happened?
The first time I flew a plane was when I was 14. And I didn't get my driver's permit until I was 17. Wow. So I had flown a plane twice by the time I ever drove a car.
Wow. I mean, I'm still blown away.
Were these just like flight lessons that you signed up for? Like, how did you get into that situation?
When I was 14, it was a birthday gift where you go up with an instructor. The instructor teaches you the basic stuff. It's like a 2-hour class. And then you go out there. He has you do a little bit of the taxiing, but he'll do the actual takeoff, the instructor. But then once you're in the air, he'll just kind of tell you what to do, and you'll do it yourself.
That's so cool.
It was very fun. It was like a visual flight, which means you're not relying on maps or your instruments. You're relying on visual landmarks on the ground to know where to go. So it would be like, make a left at the Santa Monica Pier, and that's what you're supposed to do. Things like that. And they had me do the landing, which was and communicate with air traffic control, which is horrifying because there's so much stuff going on, and they want you to be very matter of fact and correct about everything, which that's reasonable. But I don't know if you've ever listened to like a recording of air traffic control. You can't understand what the fuck they're saying. It's incomprehensible.
Letters and numbers, yeah.
Even ignoring that, it's just like, what? Like the mic quality is so bad. I can't understand.
Yeah, I'm only landing a plane here, no pressure.
At a congested airport with passenger flights. Right. So this wasn't even like a general aviation airport. This was an airport that had, 737s flying in.
Was this John
front and behind me? This was Long Beach.
Long Beach, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So
incredible.
Even more congested because it's in between the flight path for John Wayne and LAX.
Right. Yeah. You're wedged right there.
Yeah.
Oh
gosh.
Well,
I can just imagine like a flight attendant like waiting to let people on. It's like, I'm sorry, the flight's delayed another 2 hours. This 14-year-old kid doesn't know how to land the fucking plane.
Yeah, no, yeah. We
He's
gotta
been
give
trying.
Jim plenty of leeway.
He's just been circling. We don't know what he's doing.
I know
We'll
we've got
talk
this
to
flight.
air traffic
I know
control.
we've got a full flight to Denver that we gotta get in the air, but Jim's not quite finished flying around yet. So
He's,
we gotta wait.
he's trying to draw a dick on the flight path. I don't know what he's doing. It's just
Yeah, we gotta wait. We gotta wait.
I wrote my name over the Pacific.
Wow. Well, I have to ask, speaking of July 4th tradition, since you and I are both big aviation nerds, will you be rewatching Top Gun Maverick tomorrow?
Ooh. Now that you mention it, I should, because I just watched the original Top Gun last night.
Oh,
So funny you bring that up.
double feature. There you go.
Yeah. It's a lot hornier than I remembered it, to be honest with you. I just remembered the planes when I was a kid because
Yeah.
that's what I was interested in.
There you go.
But rewatching it now, there are so many things that I guess blocked out of my mind because I didn't care about it at the age of 8.
Right. Yeah, I have to say, my all-time favorite July 4th movie-going experience has to be that trip I took up to Jersey 2 years ago when I was up there with Reid and the boys for July 4th, and we went to go see Top Gun Maverick. And that was literally just the case of perfect place, perfect time. I mean, the vibe could not have been more on point for that. And that will always take the cake for me for best July 4th movie.
I will say, the movies that I have most commonly watched on 4th of July, there have been 2 movies that I've watched multiple times on the 4th, but those have been Inglourious Bastards, because, World War II,
Definitely.
and Forrest Gump. That's a movie I watch on the 4th.
That's a surprisingly good choice.
It's all about,
July.
American history in a way.
Yeah, he's so engulfed in Americana.
Yeah, and Reid and you probably don't know this, but Jim has always been a huge Forrest Gump fan.
Evangelist.
Yeah, a Forrest Gump truther, really. And I always tease him because listen, I like Forrest Gump as much as the next guy. It's a fine, fun movie. But I always tease him by just pointing out that, I mean, when you really think about Forrest Gump, what is the moral? What is the message of that movie other than if you're stupid enough, you can meet 4 presidents? That's basically what the message of Forrest Gump is.
It's about falling in love and pursuing what you want and the people you want and just seeing where life takes you in these unexpected directions. It's just a heartfelt story. It doesn't have to have like a overall message. It's just
it's a movie that
sweet.
makes you feel good.
Yeah.
No question about that.
But also, I think it's a very culturally significant movie in what it teaches you and how it engulfs you in the vibe of being around during that period of American history.
Yeah.
It just teaches you a lot about just like everyday life during that time period, in my opinion.
Oh, sure.
What people during that era were experiencing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, and like I said, don't get me wrong. Forrest Gump is a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's definitely vintage 90s Tom Hanks. I think that for Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan are the 2 pillars of 90s Tom Hanks.
Which, speaking of which, that's what I watched on 4th of July last year, was Saving Private Ryan.
There you go. So you finally watched it.
That is a bummer of a watch for
that was the first
July 4th.
I don't think so. I don't think it was a bummer. I mean, it is a bummer in general, but the courage of American soldiers in World War II. But
I mean, it's an empowering story, but I just remember like when I saw that movie, I was like depressed for the next 2-3 days.
That was the first time I had seen that movie, and yeah, it was heavy.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
That first scene just has you just
oh my god,
frozen up for several minutes afterwards, just because I saw it. They were doing a special screening, so I saw it in theaters. And that's why I hadn't seen it until now, because I had always heard about the experience of seeing it in theaters. So I was waiting until they at one point re-released it in theaters. And the experience of watching that in a movie theater, that first scene when, you have the surround sound audio and everything is going on all around you, it feels like the bullets are whizzing past you, is terrifying.
It really is.
It really
imagine.
Understand what the feeling. I mean, not that you can even begin to understand what that feeling would have been like,
but it's the closest we've ever really gotten.
Yeah. according to veterans.
I also rewatched it recently. I rewatched it on June 6th, this past June, the anniversary of D-Day. For some reason, it feels like if ever you're going to rewatch Saving Private Ryan, rewatch it on June 6th. And, this year being the 75th anniversary, just made it even more impactful. I think it's 70th anniversary, right? Yeah. Or do I have that right?
I don't ask me. I have no idea.
2024, 1944. So that's what? It's 80 years?
80 years.
80, yeah. So the 80th anniversary of D-Day. I said, let me sit down and rewatch Saving Private Ryan, and I've seen that movie, 2 or 3 times already now. So I mean, obviously I know what happens, but it still really is just an arresting experience and so engrossing too. I mean, like literally, when I put it on, I said, I'm just going to rewatch the actual D-Day landing part, like the first half hour of the movie, because that's the part that's most relevant to the actual anniversary. But once you start watching it, you can't put it down. It's like a 3-hour movie, and you have to watch it all the way through. And it really is incredible. I mean, not only is it one of Spielberg's finest, but the cast in Saving Private Ryan. I mean, you go back and look at that cast, it really is incredible. I mean, like here's a jump scare: Vin Diesel in a serious dramatic role. I mean, like it's so
that's what I was like. I was so thrown off by that the entire movie because I mean I wasn't around in that era, so just like watching this from a 2023 perspective was just so jarring.
Yeah,
it's in that role.
It's so easy to forget that Vin Diesel actually really did used to be a serious dramatic guy. It wasn't all just schlocky Fast and Furious stuff. Like he actually used to take a lot of serious roles.
And he didn't say the word family once that entire movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's just an incredibly stacked cast and just a fantastic movie.
Speaking of cast, you can definitely get that same experience watching Band of Brothers too. Because there's a lot of actors in that. Speaking of D-Day and late phase of World War II. There's a lot of actors in that you'd be surprised to see pop up there based on where they are at later. Jimmy Fallon.
I know. Isn't that
Jimmy
crazy?
Fallon was in Band of Brothers?
That's
what the hell? Did you guys ever see Masters of the Air?
Yeah, actually, I have seen it, yeah.
I do really want to watch that, but I don't have Apple. It's Apple TV?
Apple TV, yeah.
I don't have that.
I mean, piracy exists, but it's funny because you mentioned flying this plane and navigating by sight, and I immediately pictured them in like the B-32 bombers with the little like eyepiece where they're looking down at the ground and looking at the landmarks. And it's like that's exactly where my mind would be if I was flying a plane. It'd be like.
And those bomber crews famously just seeing a church and thinking, "Oh, this must be the town," not realizing they're still over France.
Right.
And I was going to watch Masters of the Air on a flight I just recently took the other day, a couple weeks ago.
That feels like a crime.
I had the
I don't know why.
realization that since I was sitting next to two young 10-year-olds, that I probably shouldn't be watching a movie, a show that depicted planes getting shot down and stuff. So I decided not to end up watching it, but yeah, I do really want to watch it. Plus, it looks like a cinematography wise, it looks like a really well shot show. So I don't think watching it on the little TV screen would do it justice.
Oh, sure, yeah. And honestly, I still can't believe, because you told me the story of how recently you were on an American Airlines flight on a brand new A320, and it had no in-flight seatback screen.
3 months old A320.
A 3-month-old A320 with no seatback screen at all.
This plane did not exist at the time I booked the flight.
It's unbelievable.
That is a weird.
And
I would not feel comfortable being on a plane.
What kind of poverty airline?
Exactly.
I mean, this is American Airlines. This is a nice airline.
Well, here's the thing: is that they're pushing you to use the app.
Yeah.
On
yes,
the phone,
that's the thing.
because they have the in-flight entertainment on the app, and they want you to pay for the Wi-Fi.
That's what I was going to say. Is they advertised having in-flight entertainment, which is why I booked the flight over Sun Country, which didn't. But when I got there, as you said, I discovered that there was just a phone holder, and they said, "Here's how you can log on to it on your phone." And I didn't charge my phone, and I didn't have a charger.
And you got held up for like 2 hours on the tarmac as well, so you were really screwed.
We were next in line to take off for 2 hours because a storm rolled in.
Yeah.
So by the time the plane was off the ground, phone was dead.
I mean, just
And
the
then
worst
just
luck.
to make things worse, I mean, the door blows off halfway through the flight too, and it's,
Oh, fortunately, it was an Airbus, so
Okay.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
safe.
Fortunately, this
I
wasn't.
checked. I
Yeah.
checked.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's because you know, like how when you go on these booking sites like Google Flights or Expedia, they now have the option where you can like select what plane types you want. You make sure to scroll down, deselect the 737 Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead and deselect that. Don't want any Max flights.
Unless you want to have a good time.
Yeah, unless you're a gambler and you like to dance with danger.
Unless you're hoping for a settlement.
Yeah,
this is a secret skydiving trip. You guys didn't know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, hey, hey, you're taking a trip to Vegas. You want to spice it up a little bit. You want to get the stakes going before you even land.
You're always listening to the pre-flight safety spiel,
Oh, yeah.
and you're finally thinking, man, I want to see if I can put this to the test and see if I really got it.
Oh, yeah, no,
That's the real reason it happened, is Boeing was performing a pop quiz.
yeah, let me tell you, when you're flying on a 737 Max nowadays, when that PA comes on, you're listening. You're listening very intently. You know, you don't want to miss that.
No one's asleep or already has their eye mask on. They're all
wide awake.
Yeah, I love you. I love you. Tell the kids. Tell the kids I love them.
Exactly. So, oh boy.
Did you get my will? I transferred it over. Okay.
So yes, indeed. But yeah, happy birthday, America, as always.
And
What
a
is this
belated
now?
happy birthday, Canada, as well.
Absolutely. There it is. What is this? 237 years now of America, something like that.
Getting into the twilight years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say an
Yeah.
empire lasts only 300, right?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
2024 is any indication, yeah, we might be in the winter of America right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The winter twilight years.
We had a decent run.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
feeling
became a
very
global superpower.
Yeah. It's feeling very Twilight of the Republic. 30 BC kind of type vibes.
Yeah. So.
Wait, hey, but think about it. The Roman Republic might have fallen, but the Roman Empire was very successful for quite a bit. So
That's true. That is true.
just,
Of course,
all we need is the right Caesar. That's it.
Yeah, that is true. And well, there's something I could say, but that would spark a whole other conversation that we don't have time for. But I think you know what I'm talking about, Jim.
We'll move on.
Yeah. That'll be next time we have you on. We'll get all into that, I'm sure.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah. But yes, we do have a main activity this episode. Of course, you know, it wouldn't be a holiday special without some kind of special activity that we have planned. And so while I get this up here, Reid, would you mind just reminding the folks what Zillow Gone Wild is and the twist we're putting on it this time?
Yeah, so Zillow Gone Wild is a Instagram page that I don't know if it originally started as the subreddit, but it basically is an account that covers the craziest listings found on Zillow, whether those are like the most expensive listings or just the poorly designed listings. And oftentimes, like, things will look fine from the outside, but the inside might be just fucking wild for no reason. Like the toilet is on top of a staircase, and that's because the architects were on crack, I guess.
That's the most likely explanation.
Yeah, that's all I got. But what we're gonna do is we've each picked 5 listings, based solely on the first image. So we have no idea what the interiors look like, and we were going to take a look at the listings and rank them based on how suitable they are for a 4th of July party or barbecue or whatever.
Yeah. We've done Zillow Gone Wild New Year's Edition. Well, welcome to Zillow Gone Wild July 4th Backyard Barbecue Edition. And as you can see, we're combining 2 of our favorite formats, Zillow Gone Wild and, observation conversations. We love a tier list. So, of course, we made it into a handy-dandy little tier list. And as you said, Reid, all 3 of us nominated 5 properties that we want to look at. And we are going to get started in evaluating where should you host your 4th of July cookout? Where is the best, which of these properties makes the cut and is the best suited for the 4th of July, Independence Day? Now, we've got 15 selections here, 5 categories, which means each category will have 3 picks. And so by the end, we have to reorganize our list. So every ranking has 3 properties in them, and only 3. You know, we're not going to have it super lopsided, high and low. We have to equalize it. So that is going to be our challenge.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And so without
Putting a
further
twist on
ado,
the twist.
You guys are able to see this all right?
Mm-hmm.
Love the titles.
Then let's get started with our first selection. Now, this is one of your nominees, Jim.
Yes. I picked it because it looks like the outside already it looks like a fortress. It looks like a modern fortress. It looks like the house of like an early Daniel Craig era Bond villain. Like,
I think that's very apt. Yeah.
That I forget which movie it is, but the one guy who has the house in the desert, you know.
Oh yeah, that's Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Yes. It's giving me that sort of vibe. I mean, you've got the walls here with a turret on the right. You've got this little thing that could either be a cannon or like somewhere where you do like a bionic face screen.
Yeah,
like the optic sensor.
Yeah. It's very imposing, and this is Beverly Hills, California, so this is high class. You know, this is a high dollar area.
The 90210.
90210. So let's see what we got here inside this this fortress in Beverly Hills. $68 million. Almost funny, Samir says, and I have to agree. 5 beds, 10 baths, 18,000 square feet, sitting on 2 acres.
Wait, 5 beds, 10 baths.
Is there a way to zoom in on these photos?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and to address that, Reid, in my day, I've enjoyed looking at houses in the LA area, and I've noticed that this is a very common phenomenon for houses in the Beverly Hills and the Hollywood Hills, Brentwood, all that, is for every house has to have twice as many bathrooms as it does bedrooms, because these houses are built for hosting events.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, yes. I was gonna ask if that's for hosting reasons.
Yes.
Yeah. A
lot of these houses are owned by celebrities where this isn't their main house. This is the house where they have their parties.
Events, parties, yeah. And so
the 5 beds are just for the people to crash.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So let's see what we got here. Oh, right off the bat, we got a nice Harley. Look at that. In, I don't know, the front foyer.
Decorative Harley. Very brutal. Oh.
Whoa.
This looks
like something out of Metropolis.
This went from like brutalist to almost steampunk.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is about steampunk. It looks like to me. We've got like a nice furnace fireplace here.
You can do some coal power generation for this. I mean, you're supplying your own energy.
Yeah, no, actually,
you're off the grid.
No. This house is totally off the grid, but you do have to supply your own coal though. So that is the one drawback. But I gotta be honest, it's weird, but I kind of dig it. I kind of like the steampunk thing.
Let's be honest. The guy spending $68 million for a house like this probably owns his own coal mine somewhere, anyways.
Yeah. Well,
so that's not a concern.
Whoa.
And that's an industrial kitchen. This is a ghost kitchen. In fact, this might be just like one of those DoorDash ghost kitchen businesses, actually.
You know, honestly, it could be, the DoorDash fortress in Beverly Hills.
This is where your Mr. Beast burger comes from.
Yeah, I mean, do you think whoever designed this house was a fan of stainless steel? Do you think that they like stainless steel?
I think you might be right. I mean, the fluorescent lights up top just.
I think whoever designed this house can only see in black and white.
Yeah,
I think they just have
definitely
no.
A colorblind
the very carefully laid out olive oils over there.
Exactly. We've got 5 different kinds of extra virgin olive oil here.
I mean, hold on. It's Southern California avocado oil.
Of course, yeah. But yeah, wow. Okay, here's the bedroom. Okay, well, we've got a grand piano in the bedroom. Is that romantic? Do we like the grand piano in the bedroom?
I mean, I have to imagine that's got to be really. I mean, it is an event house, so the person waking up in that bed is almost definitely going to have a hangover. So that piano is probably very lightly used, if at all. Nobody wants that kind of sound going on at 8.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, this screams like tortured artist who lives alone in a giant house.
Yeah, what you could do is
trying to completely deprivate himself of any senses by making it all gray.
Yeah, tell you what is that
Focus
what you do is you hire a whole troupe of jazz pianists and you hire them for the full weekend so they can just come in shifts. Someone's always at the piano.
Right.
And so, no matter what's going on in this bedroom, no matter who's coming or going, you'll always have that nice live music going. That's, I think, what you have to do.
Does he have to be here for this? Yes, the pianist stays.
I paid for the weekend.
I demand musical accompaniment whenever we have sex.
Yeah.
That's mandatory.
Socks are off, but the pianist stays. Okay, this looks like some...
Is that Darth Vader's, tank?
This looks like somewhere where some evil guy resets his powers, for sure.
Yeah, a back to tank, yeah. Star Wars back to tank.
This place might be owned by that one rich guy from California. You know, the crypto guy who has his son's blood extracted and put in.
That guy.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably where he does the ritual right here.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, this is a very intimidating tub to get into or out of.
Also, what are those Norse runes on it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, they look like Norse or Gaelic
there's some
runes
kind
or
of
something.
runes carved into it. Not sure what's going on.
Bolted into the ground.
Yeah,
that tub is not going
black
anywhere.
magic happening in this.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but this is a very daunting tub. It's not inviting at all.
The skylight overhead for the Frankenstein-esque lightning.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm expecting a Frankenstein table to be in one of these next photos.
Oh my goodness. Well, here we have
the sweatshop. Okay.
Yeah. This is where in Sims 3 when you have the people in the basement who you have make all the paintings for you so you can sell them off. This is where you keep them. You just keep them down here. They paint. You sell the paintings, and you promise them one day they'll be able to see sunlight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this explains why there's stainless steel everywhere. The house has got its own metal shop. It's got its own metalworks. So that's handy, I guess.
But seriously, what is this? This looks like a high school biology lab. What's going on here?
At first, I thought this was the rec room, but there's no recreation happening here. These look like legit workbenches for tools to be used and things to be crafted.
Yeah, and the paintings lined up there and like the bulletproof glass looking stuff in the back. It's like that the Freeport area from Tenet where the rich people keep all their goods.
Yeah. An incredibly niche reference, but I have to agree. I think it does look a lot like that. Wow. Okay, well, at least this is nice. Nice infinity pool.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I'm always a fan of like the kind of pools that have like the little areas that go into the pool and you put the chair so you can sit and you're surrounded by water. I don't know why, but I really like that kind of aesthetic.
It is a nice vibe.
That before.
Very nice vibe. And here's the full compound.
The rotunda.
Yeah.
Where you keep all the cars. Yeah.
Wow.
That just looks like it's the section of Mos Eisley where they park the Millennium Falcon.
Oh yeah, you can land it right in
yeah. Yeah, I think this is actually. I think they based the design of this place on Galaxy's Edge. I think that's what this is based on. I think this is the Galaxy's Edge prototype.
This is Batu right here.
Yeah, this is Batu is what this is. Wow. Okay. Well, what do we think? This is Zillow Gone Wild, and right off the bat, this is a weird one.
Certainly interesting.
If you go back to these first, like this photo here and this photo here, this looks like this. I'm wondering if this is the house from a YouTube video I once watched.
I could believe that.
I feel like if it's not, it looks exactly like it. There was this house that was owned by, that kombucha brand with the round glass bottles, like GT. Or GT Dave's kombucha.
I think I know the video you're talking about.
And it's Cody Ko and Noel Miller where they visit this guy's house.
Yeah.
It looks like this house. I have a feeling it's this house.
I could really see that.
Which in that case, this house is owned by a genuinely insane person.
Right. I mean, if you are a fan of concrete and stainless steel and working with metal, then
if you're
Beverly Hills.
And if you absolutely just hate color, vibrance,
Yeah.
wa-
Any kind of natural
warm
life.
tones.
Any kind of natural life. There's not a single plant anywhere outside in the interior, because obviously you've got some plants outside, but in the interior, there is not a single thing that is organic. There is no organic life anywhere.
There's avocado oil. I guess
Yeah,
that
well,
counts.
that's true. They have plenty of avocado oil. So yeah, if that's what you love in Beverly Hills, and you've got Beverly Hills money, then and you want a fortress, then this is for you.
Like if you were doing like a Bond themed party,
Sure.
or like a heist party where you get a group of friends and you have to like try to steal something from your own house, like that would be really fun. But for 4th of July,
yeah, we have to ask the question here. What's our initial ranking of the Beverly Hills Fortress?
I think that this works for 4th of July if you are just an evil technocrat political operative.
Right.
If you're someone who is actively aiming for the destruction of this country, I think this is the house for you.
The evolution of this country, let's say.
If you're trying to tear down the republic from the inside, this is where you would live.
If you're someone who, you know, is a member of Congress and partakes in insider trading,
yeah,
this is the house for you.
Yeah, like what was her name? Kelly Loeffler, Senator Kelly Loeffler, who did all that insider trading in 2020. Yeah, she would live here. I would believe that.
Yeah.
If you're at all into the rumors that politicians have weird hedonistic parties behind closed doors, Babylonian parties, this is where it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I have to say, overall, it's giving me Dr. Evil. This is what it is. Yes. That's the overall vibe I'm getting. So, I don't know. I mean, in terms of hosting a cookout, barbecue, 4th of July celebration, I mean, it's big, it's spacious, you can have a lot of people over, but I don't know if there's anything here that's really very warm or inviting.
I think it's very good for hosting because considering how neutral the entire property is, it's very good for theming it however you want
putting
for
up
the
decorations
party.
And stuff. That's true. It's a truly blank slate.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
I would put it very highly because of that.
Okay. Well, how about Eagle Screech?
I was going to say Eagle Screech, yeah.
Eagle Screech? All right. So that's where Beverly Hills Fortress is going to be for now. All right. Let's keep it rolling with Jim's selections. You picked a firehouse in Sierra Madre, California.
Yes.
So, interesting.
Now, where's Sierra Madre, if that adds anything to the context?
Yeah, we can pull up some Google Maps here, so we can double check where these places are.
Yes, that's in the north side of the San Gabriel Valley.
Here it is, so the folks at home can see.
You know, the Pasadena sort of area.
Oh yeah. So still very much in the LA region.
Yes.
Okay, so 0 beds, 1 bathroom, 2,200 square feet. Let's see.
I'm sorry. Wait. 0 beds, 1 bath. Still over $1 million.
$1 million, yeah, to be
Keep
outside
in mind,
of Pasadena.
I mean, that's California.
It's a freestanding structure in the Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's.
Let's see what we have here. Okay, looks like a pretty open concept.
Yes.
Actually, this makes for an amazing studio.
It does. It's giving me.
Gorgeous.
It's giving me a very hip place to go for Sunday brunch.
Yeah, you know.
I bet you the owner of this place makes a killer mimosa.
You know what? I can believe it. Also, is this a TV or is that just a painting?
I believe.
I think it's just a painting.
I think it's a painting, but it
okay.
Could be a TV.
That would be a good place for it.
Yeah, it would be a good place for a TV, but I think it's just one painting.
Here's my problem. I mean, if we go to that previous picture and then back to this picture, I mean, you see the bed in the corner there.
Yeah.
Considering the setup of the walls and everything, you could have made that area a little bit more private.
I think so, yeah.
Because let's go back to the first picture. Of the outside. It's an old fire station, right? So you have those big glass windows.
Yeah.
The entire structure.
Mhm.
So anyone looking in the window is going to see you in bed.
Yes.
The entire house is visible. And if it's a studio, you don't want the entire house visible to the ground floor outside.
Yeah, you're on ground level. All street traffic can see you.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think this one flimsy, courtesy divider is going to
Not,
get the job done.
Not when
not
there's like
only is it not
a
too
half
short,
wall
but
right
it's
there that you
also
could just.
see-through.
Yeah, yeah, it's not even going to obstruct anything.
Oh my god, yeah. What is the point of that?
It's not even the door. It doesn't even
block
reach the door.
Yeah, I mean, I always find something deeply disquieting about the idea of you're lying in bed and you can look over and the front door is right there.
Yes.
Like there's
You
Just
can
terrible
not only see
feng shui,
outside,
yeah.
you can see all the people dining at the restaurant across the street
yeah.
from your bed.
Yeah.
And they can see you, vice versa.
They can certainly see you because I swear this building is half windows. So
no jacking off.
No, yeah. I'm sorry. This courtesy, this courtesy veil is not going to.
You can if you're brave enough.
Yeah, because let's look back. Previous photo. No curtains.
Nope.
No blinds.
Yeah, we could put some curtains up. We could put some blinds. We could do something, but
we don't want to.
If you put the curtains up, then you can't use the doors. I mean, I think that's part of what's cool about this space is imagine like you have this living room space and then you open the doors and suddenly extends to the outside.
So if we're talking about this as an event venue space, I mean, it's
actually
a super wide
good.
open concept. Seating is nice. It's a lot of natural light. You can open the doors, have the fresh air come in.
This is a nice sitting area right here.
Yeah, exactly. Just imagine like you have those doors open. That painting right there is a TV. You have some couches set up.
Yeah.
Like if you're watching the Super Bowl or something, you got the doors open, TV on.
Nice warm air.
Exactly.
I'll raise you one better though. Imagine like either going to a party or like playing in a garage band. Or going to a party where there's a garage band playing. Now imagine instead of sitting in a dank, musty garage, you're essentially in a fucking living room.
Right.
Yeah.
And it has all of the upside of like a garage.
If this is
all of the comfort of a living room.
If this is your band, you want to get your name out there. If this is on like a semi-popular street or something, you have the doors open. People walking down the street, they hear your music, they walk right in.
Exactly.
Also, Fire Station Number 2, not a bad band name.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so I
also
think
so sick for your house to have a name.
Yeah.
Like it's an estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that Fire Station Number 2. You can't miss it.
No, really. I mean, there's a big sign out front, so you cannot miss it. I think what we're trying to kind of conclude here is that this building would be great for a whole host of different uses. Just about anything other than being a private domicile, I think.
Yeah.
If we're ignoring, okay, as a home, it has the potential to be great with a couple modifications, because it's very nice.
It is. Yeah.
You just need some modifications to have it add a little more privacy, and it would be great.
Yeah.
But as an event venue, as a 4th of July cookout type of place, it is perfect. You open the doors, you have the grills right outside on the sidewalk. Perfect. I say this goes in America, fuck yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
And the look of it's very Americana too.
It is. No, it definitely is.
Modern Americana, yeah.
And so I feel like I'm maybe not quite as high on it as you guys are. I mean, it is definitely charming. Oh, spoilers. That's our next listing. It is definitely charming. The fact that it is an old firehouse is cool. It is fun. Firehouse Number 2, it's very identifiable. But I don't know. I mean, for $11 million, $1 million plus bucks, it's a great location, but again, it's an open concept, only one bathroom. I feel like it would be a much better value if they had more walls, because really there's only one wall in this place, and that's this one.
And I propose this. If you go through the photos, you'll see what's behind that wall.
Yeah, it's
the kitchen.
The kitchen and dining.
Just swap
area.
the kitchen with the
swap
bed.
the kitchen with the bed.
With the bed, yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, that would be perfect. So, for me, my gut reaction is right now is red, white, and black. But we've got one vote for America. So Reid's the tiebreaker.
I say put it in Eagle Screech.
Okay.
Because I mean, looking at some of the other listings we have coming up, I think there will be some better options. But
Yeah,
this
we'll
one
be shifting
is
these around.
very nice.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to Jamul, California, which Jamul, California, I think we found was in the San Diego area, wasn't it?
Yes.
Here
It's
it
a
is.
bit of a rural area in the East
Why?
County area.
Why did it immediately zoom in on the nearest subway in Jamul?
There ain't no subways in Jamul, let me tell you.
Oh, there's one subway in Jamul, apparently.
Oh, Subway. Oh, the restaurant Subway.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Subway
restaurant.
sandwiches. No, yeah,
This place does not have a metro.
There's no mass transit in Jamul. I can promise you that. But here we go. So Jamul, California. It is a Iberian castle in California.
It's giving Moorish. It's giving 10 years before the Reconquista.
This castle is known as Laminac Castle. Overlooks 60 beautiful acres.
Again, any house that has a name is an extra point for me.
Which, I mean, get a load of this. I mean, $1,300,000 for this in San Diego. 2 beds, 2 baths, 60 acres in San Diego.
And plenty of room for a potato shed, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, thank you, Samir, for that suggestion.
I assume it's exactly what it says, which is a shed for your potatoes.
But I mean,
I
we're about to see what the inside looks like, but on the surface, that sounds like an incredible value.
Yes. No. Can you go back to the maps? I want to see how long would it take you to get from Jamul, California, into the city. Let's say Petco Park. That's in the middle of the city.
Let's see here. Saying less than half an hour. Right
Less
now.
than half an hour.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's sweet. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
It's rural, but you're still close.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see what does the inside look like.
If we stay on that first photo, just before addressing anything else, I mean, it's a castle. It's on a hill, very defensible.
Overlooking 60 acres of your land, like a true feudal lord. You own that land.
Of your fiefdom.
Yeah, exactly.
And look at that satellite TV.
Oh,
I just want to address the fiefdom bit though. Isn't that kind of like anti-American? Weren't we against kingships and monarchs?
Well,
depends on what part of early America you're talking about. First of all,
I mean, fair.
But in general, yes, feudal systems were not really part of the American ideal, were they? But also, I just want to address one more thing on that first photo. Unpaved driveway.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
That could be a drawback.
Yes.
Love these doors. Apparently made out of redwood. Weigh 750 pounds, these doors do.
That's something you can't say of any castle in Europe. They're not made out of redwood.
Ain't that the truth? Whoa, okay. So
full suit of armor and swords on the walls. Amazing.
Here we have the Lord of the Kingdom.
Do you think that's just the guy painted into an old school painting?
I swear to God, whoever built this house and owned this house first put himself in some Knights Templar armor and said, I want a portrait put up of me in my knight armor.
And then also said, let's leave the exposed brick wall here and then just do plaster on the adjacent wall.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
that's... I wish he had kept the theme going. Yeah. But let's be honest. You had a house like this. Are you not going to paint yourself into either knight's armor or into a traditional monarchical type portrait where you're wearing like a collar?
Yeah.
I absolutely would, and that's how I know this guy's a massive nerd, because that is what I would do.
Just to paint like a King Henry VIII style painting with a massive cod piece.
Yeah, this is definitely a guy who's a lifelong attender of Ren fairs. He's thinking to himself, "Oh my God, I would look so cool. Let me put on my Knights Templar, my Knights Templar costume, and I'm gonna get my portrait made, and I'm gonna hang this up underneath my heraldry and my swords."
If he was a real nerd, instead of wearing the Templar crest, he would wear a family crest. He would have one drawn up.
Or maybe he's devoted to God. And
maybe
And the Return of the Holy Land.
Yeah, he's cut down many infidels with these swords.
Yes.
You know?
He has
Yeah.
no wife. He is devoted to God.
Yeah, no, he has three swords. He's got 2 long swords, the Father, the Son, and 1 broadsword, the Holy Spirit. Those are his 3 swords that he has. So, you know, already I gotta say I do like this guy. I feel like this would be a very fun place to be.
Do you guys know your family crests, by the way? Have you ever looked into that? Have you found anything about it?
I think I looked it up one time and I didn't find anything.
Oh my God, you guys! He has another Knights Templar portrait. I'm
my
sorry
God.
to interrupt you, but he has another Knights Templar portrait.
Go back to the previous portrait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
It's a different one.
It's a different one.
He had 2 different portraits made.
I can't tell which is more unhinged, having 2 of the same portrait at different places in your house, or having 2 of these portraits that are like
Having commissioned multiple
Templar portraits.
Yeah, he's got his heraldry, and you can see in the background he's got a tapestry back here. I think you know, this is what I aspire to be. You know, when I'm 65 years old, this is exactly the kind of setup that I want to have.
Okay, wait,
you know, when I'm 65 and I'm retiring from running a successful, you know, computer software company, this is what I want to have.
Go back for a minute. Is that just a solid I-beam running through the center of the house?
Is that metal?
I think that's just a metal I-beam.
Can we zoom in on that?
I can't really tell, but
I think it is, or something like that.
Oh, and there's some wiring there, so he's got to cover that up. He's got to
points off for that.
Points
I mean, that's
off.
just not holding true to the aesthetic
run it through
at
the
all.
walls, man.
I truly believe. I mean,
or just add a wall there, like.
The more we see of this house, the more I truly believe that this is him building the house of his dreams. I truly believe this is from inception, from the ground up. This was his idea. This is his brainchild brought to life.
This is his brainchild brought to life, and then like halfway through designing it, realizing that he can't afford his dream home and just making every concession possible.
Yeah.
But
until you end up with this kind of monstrosity.
If you go back a little bit, one more photo, you can tell the wall on the left was built first. Yes. That was one of the first walls built before the budget crunch became apparent.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. And so, you know, but you know what? I think it works.
Like, goddamn, I blew half my budget on this redwood door.
Yeah.
Now what am I going to do?
And also, look at the stone floors here. Look at these nice stone floors.
And also the cabinets do kind of try to go with the theme by adding the crossbars on them.
Yeah, and also the dishwasher also goes with the theme because it's the oldest dishwasher you can possibly find. He found a dishwasher from 1982.
The rectangular stove in the corner, so that it's kind of on either side, kind of far from where as close as you can stand as possible. That's bad design.
Yeah, don't love that.
You got to reach over to get those back burners, and that's not safe.
Yeah, don't love that.
Chandelier, love that.
Oh my goodness, are these red coats? I'm seeing some guys in red coats here.
I don't think those are
in theme, but
I don't think those are red coats. I think those are nobility.
Okay.
They're certainly nobility, but that's like 1700s nobility.
Yeah, very much so.
Is a little bit later than the time period I imagine for the rest of the house. Because
I'm sorry, but look at this other picture he's got in the corner here of the princess knighting the knight here.
Yes. Is that the Lady of the Lake? Is that Arthur at the bottom?
Could be.
Maybe. You know, yeah, this could be this could be Arthur. This could be Arthurian. But I just again, this is this guy's fantasy come to life. You know, the beautiful princess bestowing her favor upon the bold knight before he charges into battle. Once again, I think this is really this guy's fantasy.
I want to appreciate those chairs for a second.
They are nice chairs.
Because like,
oh yes,
sitting anywhere at that table, you feel like a king in his throne.
Yes,
those are beautiful.
And the tapestry is a little bit anachronistic because he's depicted himself as a Knights Templar.
Yeah.
And this is 1700s nobility.
Much later.
Yeah, there is a lot of like time period clash here. Like you have this these kind of gothic elements mixed with this like kind of Renaissance era, I guess, castle, and then you have these like kind of modern Hispanic style interiors with like the white walls, and then you have these like cabin elements with the wood.
I think we're in the dungeon now.
Yeah, I think that's what this is now.
Oh wait, no, that looks like
a foyer.
Hold on, the bench in front looks like a confessionary bench.
Yeah.
Is this the chapel of the house?
I did like your idea of it being a dungeon, because this would be the perfect seat for the Lord Inquisitor. The Lord Inquisitor would sit right here, and this is where we would get the answers that we need.
Oh, and the balcony up front, so the Lord can watch.
Exactly.
The Lord of the house.
Yeah, the Lord of the castle. Yeah.
I like the little knight in the corner.
Oh, the mini knight?
Yeah. And it made me think that like it would be amazing if this was like the bathroom and that little knight was just holding a roll of toilet paper. And you could just grab the toilet paper off the knight.
That's the suit of armor for the house nymph.
Yeah.
Yeah, the house goblin, that's his armor. Wow.
Oh.
I guess is this the bed?
I think that's the bed.
I guess that.
Wow. I mean, it's like you've been put in the stocks.
The bed chest.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it looks. I mean, getting into this bed would look like you're getting put in the stocks.
That looks like one of those beds that like functions as an earthquake bunker, where the mattress drops in and it like folds over.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Have
you seen those, Jonathan?
Sorry, say again.
Those beds where like if it detects an earthquake, the mattress drops and the walls come up.
Yeah.
Which I've also never understood those, because they're like, oh, there's all these like first aid supplies and like things of water and stuff, but they're under the mattress that you're on top of.
Yeah.
So how do you get to it? Because there's not enough room to just fold the mattress back.
Not to mention, unless there's some sort of transponder, you've just trapped yourself inside of a metal sarcophagus inside a collapsed house.
Cage.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is that like rescuers will be able to know what the box is.
Hopefully,
I hope they spray you with time. I hope you've got
you're not
plenty of water and snacks in there.
And granola.
Yeah. Wow. And this is the bathroom. I guess, is this a shower?
It's a shower.
Is this a communal shower? There are multiple spouts.
Wow.
And also you have like this pillar of a seat.
Yeah, it's a 5-in-1. Look at that.
And you have these two different stone patterns on opposite walls.
Once again, I
think that works because it's like you're in a castle that has been built over multiple generations. You know?
This is the first time where I have to say I think that this guy, our hero, has gone too far with the medieval theme. The communal 5-person shower is, I think, maybe a little bit too much dedication to historical accuracy.
What is that even going for?
Is
this where all the knights would shower?
I guess. I don't know.
Knights even have showers though? Wouldn't they?
Well, no. I mean, there was no indoor plumbing.
So, yeah. So,
like, what even is the idea behind this? Like, I don't know, because clearly one of the spouts is the primary
shower.
Yeah, this is for the king to use. This is the king gets the handheld shower. The handheld shower.
I can only think back to the budgetary restrictions. Like there's like waterfall showers. Where like comes out of a very wide spout. They have
multiple spouts that all.
Yeah, it's just that, but he couldn't afford it, so he just has 5 separate ones, and he hopes that the water streams will just kind of combine.
I guess because you have to wonder since the rest of them look different, if they're just decorative, and if so, what is that even going for?
Yeah.
But also, I like the idea of like having a walkway of water going to the main shower.
Right.
So like you go into the shower and you're like walking down the pathway, generally getting soaked until you get to the main shower.
It's like you're already clean by the time you get to the shower.
Exactly. So you can put the soap right on.
I mean, it's true. I mean, think about it. You're the lord of this castle. What better place to plot out your next conquest than just going back and forth, taking a 2-hour-long shower?
You're right. It's a pacing shower.
It is a pacing shower, yeah.
And I just realized that's the most brilliant invention ever.
You know what? Yeah,
Pacing shower.
now I get it. Yeah.
You have the main
It's-
spout at the end for the main sort of cleaning, and then you can.
The main cleaning.
It's brilliant as long as you have like sturdy stone floors and not like a ceramic tub.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Because you don't want people to slip while they're pacing in the shower.
Yeah, the
And also,
main washing happens here, and then all of this is just the rinsing. This is just the rinse section.
Yeah.
But the flooring that looks like some grief.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
I think works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have to say, this sitting area on the roof, this is
Unhinged.
lovely.
Is this the roof?
I love it.
Oh yeah, because that would
What
be a
else?
chimney. Yeah. I don't
What
know.
else would it be other than a roof? There's no
This view,
ceiling.
though, look at
A
the view.
balcony.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that part of San Diego is very beautiful, I will
Yeah.
say.
And you can put your archers up. You can put your archers up
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
You know, you can put your boiling tar up here in case there's invaders coming in.
Your
You know, if I own this house,
catapult.
I would put an umbrella up there because
yes,
that is just a metal table sitting in the hot
surrounded
sun.
by concrete.
Yes, that's gotta be scalding up there.
Oh yeah. And that part of East San Diego regularly gets 100 degrees in the summer. So
Yeah.
imagine it's already 100 degrees.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by concrete, sitting at a metal table with no cover,
In metal chairs.
Yeah.
and metal chairs.
Yeah. You're gonna need some protective.
Maybe this
protective
is the
wear.
torture area. Actually.
Yeah, I was gonna
That could
say.
be, yeah. Yeah. In fact, yeah. Actually, and once you've got all the answers, and you can just throw them off.
Yeah.
Throw them off the side. So,
Also, can you zoom in on the little humps that are on the ceiling there? Are those just like
They're not skylights.
they look like skylights that were just painted gray to match the floor.
mm,
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe some sort
Yeah.
of like
I don't know.
Wi-Fi internet thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
They look like the Wi-Fi domes on passenger planes. That's why I was thinking that.
I mean, do you really believe that our hero here would permit Wi-Fi in his perfect medieval castle? That would totally break the immersion. No.
I mean,
doesn't
he
even
has,
have-
he has electricity and indoor plumbing. Like, let's be real.
But he doesn't even have an electric stove. He's got a gas stove. So he is
Exactly.
trying to cut the electricity wherever possible.
But
Exactly.
he has
yeah.
this giant I-beam with wires running down
I-
the length
That's
of it.
I
true.
think
What are the
that-
wires for if not?
Yeah.
Because those aren't regular electrical wires.
Yeah, I think that our hero here, I think he demands that you go full LARP when you're in this castle. I think you have to show up in costume. You have to use period appropriate, language. I think that that's what he wants. I think he wants you to be fully in character when you're in the castle.
I mean, my main concern so far, have we gotten to the end? I don't think so.
Yeah, the outside was the last photo.
Oh, okay. So now I'm going to say no place to hold court really. That's a
Mm.
downside for me.
Mm,
Because he has the living room area, but there's no throne or anything.
that's
Yeah.
true.
There's a bar.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's
the
dope.
true holding court. I would
Yeah.
think, yeah.
But I think he needs a large seat to project power from, because the only interesting seat he's got here, other than the dining table, is the pedestal in the bathroom, and you can't project power from the shower.
No,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't work as well.
No.
Yeah, or I mean, the only thing that really comes close is this, the Lord Confessor's seat.
But that's
right
a
here.
bench. That is not
That's
a
a
throne.
bench.
Yeah,
That's where you take. I think this is the foyer, so yeah, that's where you take off your shoes.
Yeah.
So-
right. Yeah. So I have to say, final verdict. I have to say that the castle is definitely after my own heart. I would really enjoy being in that space. I would really enjoy having my own castle like that and just filling it up with all of my stupid medieval LARPy shit. But on our 4th of July scale, what do we think?
I do think it's very anti-American, quite
Yeah.
frankly.
I like this is clearly a castle built for a king. I don't know what other tier to put it in other than
it
King
is-
George approves.
Not only aristocratic, but overtly religious.
Yes.
Yeah.
True enough. So
And also think about it from a hosting get-togethers perspective. It looks to be on top of a hill, so a little bit hard to get to.
on an
and-
unpaved road.
On an unpaved road. What if it rained the day before? You're trying to get
God
all those
forbid.
cars up there.
That's true.
Yeah, God forbid.
I will say, to play devil's advocate just a little bit, one gorgeous view to watch fireworks from,
Yes.
because you can see like a ton of major cities from atop that hill. Secondly, it's a castle, so you could literally set off your own fireworks like right outside the walls
Yes,
and watch them from atop the walls, and you'd be safe.
But where are you going to set them off? Because it's on top of a hill.
That is true. Yeah,
So
they wouldn't be stable on
the
a dirt
fireworks would be
driveway.
lower than you. You'd have to look over to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
And
I have
if you're
to say-
hosting the get together, the barbecue on top of there, you're gonna need some umbrellas or something. Because
I mean, you're already just cooking the meat by throwing it on the floor. So
yeah, just throwing it on the metal table.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Go out. Yeah. It's July. It's 105 degrees out. Just put the steaks on the table. It's fine.
Well, let's check what the weather's. I mean, July 4th is tomorrow. Let's see what the weather's going to be like in Jamul. It's going to be 91 degrees tomorrow.
Ugh.
So I don't want to be standing on that roof
No.
Yeah.
in the middle of the day tomorrow.
No, definitely not. So can we all agree we love the idea of this house?
Yes.
But as Reid said, I mean, this is literally a castle that a king built for himself. I think it has to be King George approved.
That is the one thing I was gonna say though. The infrastructure of this castle is very poorly built. And that if that is not the most American thing I've ever fucking seen, it's just bad infrastructure.
So I think
But-
it's going for King George approved, but the capitalistic elements are seeping in.
It falls short of its own goals.
It's
which is
democratic.
very-
Really.
Okay, all right. I can agree with that.
It's a
I'm sure
capitalistic.
it'll get shifted down later, but
All right, so we'll put it there for now.
And just to pause for a second. Oh, okay. Your screen was black for me for.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Are we back now? Are we good?
Yeah, very good.
Okay, perfect. All right, moving on to Beverly Hills again. We're back in Beverly Hills. I mean, we all know where Beverly Hills is. We don't need to double check that, but we'll show the people anyway.
Yeah. It's going to be right there.
The beating heart of West LA. Okay. Now,
And I will say, I mean, I just want to say, I picked this house,
yes, another gem selection.
I want to just put it out there that I did pick this house because I did recognize it. I recognize this as being Justin Bieber's former house. I don't know how I know that. I think I had seen it on Twitter or something.
You're just a true believer.
I love JB. My initials are JB.
True.
Back in middle school, I had that same bowl kind of haircut as Justin Bieber, and because I had the same hair, and because my initials were JB, back in middle school, I was often referred to as Justin Bieber. Whether that was a good thing or actually detrimental to my development remains to be seen. But I'll hash that out with a psychologist at a later date.
Years of therapy might help to get to the bottom of that. We'll see.
We won't talk about that for now, though. If you want to finish giving the introduction.
No, just to say exactly what you said. So this is another one that you picked. You said you recognized it as the Justin Bieber house. The caption says here, it may look familiar to you because Justin Bieber rented it back in 2015. And it's your lucky day because it is now available for sale for only $35 million. Designed by architect Ed Niles, the home features elegant curves, ooh, it's a curvy house, and dynamic angles with soaring steel beams and walls of glass that showcase the spectacular panoramic city views. 90210, baby.
And by the way, compare this to the other Beverly Hills house, almost exactly half the price.
That's true. That's a very good point because this was
68,
almost
and then 34.
So.
Wow.
All right, so JB, let's see what JB is working with here. Well, first of all, right off the bat, we made this joke earlier. I mean, it looks more like a convention center than it does a house.
It looks like a UN facility in Scandinavia.
Exactly. Yeah, this is actually a
it's...
UN outpost in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So me, it's giving indoor water park.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, right.
I'm imagining that the reason that it's circular and it has those fan things in the middle is that this was built by a Hollywood billionaire who's preparing for the future, and that this house can take off and get the hell out of there.
This is actually the Red Room from Black Widow. It flies up there.
This house is
Yeah,
exciting.
you're
Turn them up.
exactly right. You are exactly right about that.
This house was featured in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when they're floating up toward the giant
yeah,
fan
no,
blade.
this is definitely a Ronald Dahl house if I've ever seen one.
Or if that, as that comment said, a food processor.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, let's see what we have here. I mean, once again, this looks like, this reminds me of the, isn't it the Walt Disney, like, concert hall? Yeah, in LA. Doesn't it kind of remind you of that a little bit?
The silver metal everywhere on the outside, certainly. Yeah.
Or the new Academy of Motion Pictures Museum.
Okay, I could see
Have you
that.
seen that? Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
Look how unsymmetrical that entrance is.
Was it not?
Back. It's not. Look how much more space there is on the left side of the door than the right.
That's true. Yeah.
That's just uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah.
Like the door is centered up and the beams overhead are centered up, but the walls.
If you're gonna do the house in this sort of style, you're gonna want everything to be symmetrical.
Either all symmetrical or really lean into the asymmetry and have the door like all the way to the right.
Yeah. But it feels too almost symmetrical to the point where doing it like
it's
this
like just off,
is uncomfortable.
Yeah. Right, I would agree with that. So here we've got a sitting area. Looks nice enough. I mean, so much glass.
I am definitely seeing what you mean with the indoor water park here now, because
right?
this looks like that one that was built in the old blimp hangar right there.
Right. Oh yeah, the one in Wisconsin.
I was thinking Germany.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
In the old Zeppelin.
Yeah, there is a bigger one in Germany. Yeah.
The dirigible factory.
I've also seen that episode on Travel Channel of when they went to like the craziest water parks in the world. Did you ever see that on the Travel Channel?
I mean, those were the kind of shows I grew up on.
That
was a 2007 classic.
Definitely, I love that. So, okay, well, we've got a nice big bar kitchen area here. Here's the bedroom.
Okay, I will say, if we're going with the kind of vibe that I think this house is going for, the more like contemporary sort of industrial kind of thing, I don't want fabric curtains like that or folding curtains like that. I want it to be the kind of curtains that you press the button and it goes, but it's all flat. Because adding the ruffled curtains just makes it feel a little out of place.
Yeah, it's just not quite right.
There is also that glass that can switch between clear and opaque.
Yeah. That would work too.
That would be cool.
But I think you could go with you could continue the aesthetic that you see on the top of the house with the metal turbines and have metal shutters here, which I think would fit the theme a lot better.
That could work, yeah. So, okay.
And like the quilted TV stand, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was honestly the first thing I noticed. That this quilted TV stand it really feels out of place. Like this whole setup here just doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like for this room, nothing is quite as it should be. Other than, the bed is fine. But
yeah. Check out that view of Century City, though.
It's
out
gorgeous.
The window.
Yeah,
I mean that is an incredible view. You have a view of at least two of LA's many downtown areas.
Yeah. Let's keep moving here. Okay, so
I guess this is a courtyard,
Yeah.
Interesting to see like this courtyard with the house surrounding it on all sides.
It's kind of like the Apple's Apple headquarters.
Oh yeah.
This is where they got the idea from.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Some outdoor seating.
More outdoor areas out here, yeah.
Yeah, I mean this is great for entertaining. I mean you got another bar out here, lots of seating, some greenery, lovely view.
Does it have a pool though? That's what I'm wondering. Oh, here we go.
I think so.
It does, but it's very small.
Yeah, it's a very narrow pool.
Unless it goes around the entire perimeter.
Yeah, let's go back to the exterior shot because that might give us some answers.
I believe it's just that little section there. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so
well, it does go a bit farther out than I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, if we compare the size of the chair to the pools, it's a decently sized pool.
It is, yeah.
You could fit a good 20 people in there.
Absolutely. All right, well, that is the Beverly Hills glass house. Let's
go back to those last. Okay, so that's the. All right.
35 million?
I'll say this. For home architecture, I do not like this style at all.
Hmm.
It does not feel like a home whatsoever. It feels like, I don't know.
A convention center,
Yeah.
or a symphony hall, or a museum,
It-
or
it-
indoor water
It
park.
feels like
I feel like I'm
Shield's headquarters from Winter Soldier.
yeah, I was going to say I feel like I'm in Geneva at I don't know. Like I'm
I do
awaiting
like your analogy of a UN building. It's definitely giving that. Definitely
Yeah,
giving
just
UN.
put a bunch of flags outside. It's the exact
some
match.
random UN agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The UN's presence in Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the UN has a presence in all the most troubled parts of the world, Yemen and Somalia, and the Caucasus, and Beverly Hills.
Yeah. No, this is a set from a 2010s spy movie, a
Mhm.
2000s or 2010s spy
Oh, yeah.
movie for sure.
Yeah, Reed said Winter Soldier. I think it does look
Yeah.
a lot like
Winter
if you
Soldier.
shrunk the Triskelion, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I definitely think Daniel Craig or Keanu Reeves has been here
Mhm.
at some point, trying to fight some corrupt.
Yeah, well, probably at one of Beeb's parties.
Yeah, this is MI6 has hosted events here. This is M's property actually.
Do you know what
this is her house?
This is the generic background house at the end of a heist cutscene in GTA 5.
Yeah,
Mm.
I would agree. Except it's not a house. I can't call this a house.
Clearly not a house.
This is an event venue,
Yes.
quite frankly. I mean, and as an event venue, it is, I think, spectacular.
Sure.
Because you have all this outdoor area plus the other courtyard in the middle of the house, huge kitchen with a ton of seating, big pool. You have an outdoor bar. You want to talk about you're at a 4th of July party that has a pool, a huge grass area, and an outdoor bar? That would be spectacular.
Lots of seating, incredible views of the entire West LA region. I mean,
you want to talk about fireworks? If you have the whole city in front of you, the whole urban area, you're going to see
the show.
Everything.
That is the show. So
and you hire that you pay off the guy who has the house on the hill below you, downhill from you. You pay him a couple grand. He agrees to have fireworks set off from his house, his roof. Great show too.
Incredible.
It's like the other house we just looked at in San Diego, except there's a whole city there, so you will be fireworks.
Definitely. So yeah, I agree completely. As a house, I mean, you can really debate what its merits as a house are, but as an event venue, as a place that's built with partying in mind, it's great. I mean, there's really not much more you can ask for. So
I think that would provoke me to put it right at the middle.
Yeah,
because I hate the architectural style of it, but it works so well as a place to host an event.
Okay. What do you think, Reid?
I completely agree with that.
All right, let's put it there. Okay, Jim, your final pick, your final nomination is...
If we want to pause for a second more, your screen has gone black again.
Yeah.
See if it comes back in a minute.
Also, we might want to speed these up too, because we still have a lot to go through.
Yeah.
And it's already almost the 3 hour.
You can't see anything? Oh,
there we go.
Well, you can see me, but can you see the screen?
We haven't been recording for 3 hours, have we?